Om Shri Sadgurave Namaha. I bow down at the holy lotus feet of true Guru, whose words of wisdom are like mighty sunbeams to dispel the darkness of ignorance. Guru, the beneficence personified, takes the disciple to meet the Supreme Being. I offer my humblest obeisance again and again to such a benevolent Guru. Blessed is Guru, whose glory is indescribable in words. Whatever little I could or would say is only because of his most compassionate grace. Oh, hello viewers. I am here after a very long gap to resume the Santmat Satsang Talks in English series, and I am here with its 17th part. Since the gap has been considerably long, we've tried to recapitulate at a bit greater length as to what had transpired in the previous session of the talk. We had seen that change of our state leads to change of place and change of knowledge. When we are in the wakeful state, the individual soul resides in the third eye, which lies in the midst of the two eyes and is known by various other names such as Agya Chakra, Sushumna, the 10th door, the third eye, single eye, the third till, Lord Shiva's eye, etc., etc. While living in the waking state, we are aware of our own gross body and the gross world that lies around us. Our organs of action and sensory organs, they remain fully active, and consciousness currents, they are scattered all through our body, right from the tip to the toes. We gather the knowledge of the universe through our five sensory organs. But when our state changes and we start dreaming, then the place or the seat of the individual soul also changes. It comes down from the third eye to the throat, and as a result of the change of place, our level of awareness also changes. When we are dreaming, our mind creates a mental body and all the scenes around that, all of which are in fact creation of the mind. We are completely unaware of our gross body and the gross universe. Our senses are no longer acting. All the 10 senses, they fall inert or inactive. And we are aware of the mental world that lies, which we behold, and the sounds that we hear during our dream state. But so long as we are dreaming, all that we see or hear or experience, it, it looks or sounds very real, very much real as that experienced by us when we are in our waking state. Now, if we further change our state and we slip from the dreaming state to that of the state of sound slumber or dreamless sleep, then the place changes from throat to heart. And as a result, our state of awareness, level of awareness also changes. Now we are completely unaware of everything, but there is something which makes us, which keeps us aware of not being aware of anything. All our 14 organs, 10 external organs, and 4 internal organs, out of them, 13 become inactive, as good as dead, and only one inner organ, that is chitta or individual consciousness, keeps working. And it is this which makes us realize after we wake up from our deep sleep that we slept well or otherwise. And it is this individual consciousness which animates, which oscillates, which pulsates all the vital organs of our body so that our heart keeps on working, our lungs keep on working, our respiratory and circulatory system keeps on working. But the whole body we are completely oblivious of. There is neither the gross body or the gross world, nor there is the mental body or mental world. We are unaware of all of these. This is the state of complete unawareness in a sense. So we see that as we move down and down, the state changes, place changes, and our level of awareness goes on reducing or decreasing. This, if you remember, we had tried to understand with another example that of the various organs. That is, as we start moving down from our eyes to ears to nose to mouth to further down to our excretory organs. So a downward movement results in increasing dirtiness or filthiness. On the contrary, as we start rising upwards, we move towards greater cleanliness. So if we think according to this logic, we had seen, then a natural question or a logical question that comes to our mind, that as we rise, say, higher and higher, our awareness also changes, our cleanliness also changes. So is it possible to rise above or within eyes also? Is there a state which lies beyond even the waking state, wakefulness state? Sants say, the wise people say that yes, there is a state which lies beyond the three states, that is known as Turiya state or the fourth state. Turiya literally means the fourth. So there is a state which lies beyond the wakefulness state. And the question is that does it logically, as it would seem, lead to even greater, better awareness and our movement or ascension into a different place which is better than this? Then again, the answer is yes. As we move into this fourth state, that is the Turiya state, then we become even more purer, virtuous, our mind becomes purer, and we assume an altogether different body, which is much subtler than this gross body or even the mental body. We assume an astral body, and with that astral body, we can move, we can roam around in an astral universe, in an astral world, and can see or come across other astral bodies that might be residing in that astral world. And while we are doing that, our gross body, it, it is as good as completely inert or a dead body. We are completely unaware or oblivious of our own body and the gross universe through our senses. Okay. We are into an entirely different world which we had never seen, never experienced earlier. It is that astral world. And our awareness also is of that astral body and the astral universe, subtle universe. But what is more to it? That though outwardly we are unaware of the gross body, gross physical body, and the gross universe, but while living in that Turiya state, we are also, say, aware of what is going on in that in this gross universe. Okay. And we can see everything that is happening. We can hear everything that is happening. Okay. And this without our eyes working, our gross eyes of flesh working, our ears, outer ears working, our outer tongue working. Still, we can keep a tab of whatever is happening in the whole of universe, gross universe also, as well as the astral universe. And this goes on to point to a very important fact that even if my physical eyes are totally inactive, inert, they are not functioning, still I am able to see what is happening in the outer universe. My external ears are not working, but still, by living in that state of Turiya, I can know whatever is happening outside. And this indicates that it is, in fact, not the eyes, ears, tongue, skin, or nose which give us knowledge. Actually, we don't see through our eyes. They are just, you can say, implements or the tools which are made to work by some other power. And it is therefore, or it is why, because that even if these are not working, by using that power, we are able to gather knowledge of the gross universe. So it is something else which actually sees, which actually hears, which actually smells, which actually tastes, and which actually touches. We get a realization of this as we move into the state of Turiya. Our mind, as we saw, becomes much purer, and it now no longer craves for indulgences in the outer gross universe, even after we have come down to our normal state of wakefulness. Once we have tasted the bliss, the light, the sound that is there in the astral universe, the scenes that we have seen in that astral universe, now the lust, the craving for things in this gross universe simply go away. Even the best of forms, even the best of sounds, even the best of taste now won't appeal us in the way they used to do earlier. The most tempting of things outside now would seem so insipid, so boring, so petty. This is the effect of having raised ourselves into that fourth state. But how does that happen? We had seen that in order to be able to move into the fourth state, we have to make some extra efforts, because transition into the other three states we discussed earlier, that is the state of waking, the state of dream, and the state of deep sleep, it happens automatically. It happens naturally. But the same is not true of the fourth state. The state has to be earned through our diligent practice of the tact learned from, taught by an adept, an accomplished trainer, that is known as, who is known as Guru in eastern part of this India. So we have to learn the tact or the skill of meditation. And as we go on assiduously and regularly practicing that, then in as a due process, it becomes possible to concentrate, to collect our attention in such a way that it collects in a single point, and it makes us penetrate or pierce from the gross level of existence into the astral or subtle level, and the whole world, the whole experience, the whole character changes. There takes place a complete transformation of such a person who is able to make an entry into that astral heavenly kingdom. But as I said, it takes a lot of practice, a complete faith in the words of Guru, and a regular practice of that. Now, how big or extensive is the state of Turiya? Is there a single region or sphere or realm in the whole of Turiya state, or there are different levels there also? And as the sages told us, who have toured through all those realms, all those spheres, they say that yes, there are different stages, different levels, different realms of inner universes also. And they could be divided into, broadly divided into the non-conscious nature and conscious nature. Even that non-conscious nature, one is this gross universe. This is also a part of that non-conscious nature. But even when we have moved into the Turiya state, we are still into that, initially we are still into that non-conscious nature, which could be again subdivided into three major spheres called astral sphere, causal sphere, and supracausal sphere. And if we rise, okay, again there are methods of practice of yoga of inner light and inner sound both. We have to meditate on the inner light, and then from there, moving further onwards, we have to start meditating on the inner sounds, which takes us higher and higher, deeper and deeper into more subtler and subtler universes, till we reach the top of the peak of the non-conscious sphere. And from there, if we further move, then we go beyond the non-conscious nature, that is known as conscious region or Kaivalya region. There it is pure consciousness. So how big is the extent of this Turiya state? It starts from the third eye and goes up to the top of the conscious sphere. And beyond that Turiya state, that is beyond the topmost or the say most superlative or superior most of the realms of the Turiya, lie Turiya Teeth, that is beyond Turiya, and that is the true nature of God. It is beyond that conscious sphere also that God, in his pure identity, in his pure state, lies. And the one by practicing meditation raises himself, ascends himself to such a state that he goes even beyond the conscious nature, he comes to identify, to merge with that supreme being who is known by various names, one of which is, let's say, God or the supreme sovereign being. He is, as we have seen in our earlier talks, beyond attributes as well as attributelessness, beyond non-consciousness as well as beyond consciousness. He is one without a second. There is nothing, none like him, but he lies even beyond the state of Turiya. So once we have made our entry into the state of Turiya, what are the different zones, different realms that have to be traversed, that have to be passed through? What are the major milestones or landmarks or different regions that lie in that state of Turiya? That is going to be the subject of our next discussion. And to be able to understand that, I would seek the help of a schematic diagram that was conceptualized by the legendary guru of Santmat, Maharshi Mehi Paramhans Ji Maharaj, and it was sketched by his eminent disciple Maharshi Santsevi Paramhans Ji Maharaj. In this talk, I am just going to show you that diagram, and in the 18th part, we'll start discussing that what are the various regions or say spheres that lie in the domain of Turiya, in the state of Turiya. What is the unique feature? What are the unique features of each of them? And how does it matter how we move close, say by crossing or by transcending each one of them? How do we move closer and closer and closer to that supreme being, supreme entity, that superlative entity that is God? So just let me share with you uh, that diagram which we would be discussing in our subsequent lectures. It's say it might take more than one lecture because that diagram is a very detailed one, and it might not be possible to discuss that in a single talk. Just a minute. Show you the sphere. Here is our 17th part, uh, various realms of Turiya. And this you can see is a diagram, schematic diagram or sketch of what is said that infinity within the finite, infinite within the finite. This infinite creation lies within this finite body of ours. That is, we can visualize all these realms by not physically traveling to any place, rather staying still and meditating. And within our body itself, we can see all these realms. So this is infinite contained within finite, like say a sea is contained inside the ocean. As I said, this diagram was conceptualized by Maharshi, Sadguru Maharshi Mehi Paramhans Ji Maharaj. Sadguru means, Sat means true, and Guru you know already. So Sadguru is a true Guru who himself has realized that Supreme Being is a true Guru. So, in fact, this diagram is in Hindi, in Bharati language, which may not be, say, comprehended by you. Those who are not aware of Devanagari script will not be able to make out anything out of this. And it is, say, very, very difficult to translate this by keeping the diagram similar, because there are so many things, so much of information that has been packed together so intelligently by the duo of Guru and Shishya, Guru and his disciple. This was drawn by Maharshi Santsevi Paramhans ji, who was the most eminent disciple of Maharshi Mehi Paramhans ji Maharaj. So very intelligently, say it's a very compact diagram. I tried to translate this into English. See, I am not say conversant with this photo or image editing software, so I could not keep the basic shape of this and change the language. So I tried to share the information. I tried to include all the information, okay, which is there, but still I could not take everything out of. I've tried my best to keep the essence of the diagram that I showed you, this diagram. So I've tried to keep the essence of that, the most important information that is contained in that earlier diagram. And I would base my future explanations on the basis of this very diagram. As you can see, there are many verses in Hindi and Sanskrit also, say, which have been included in this original diagram as a reference. But here I could not include all of them. But you can see one very important statement. This is from a couplet of Sant Kabir, again one of the greatest sons of Sant in the tradition of Santmat. So what it says is say very important to me. It says that a droplet is contained within the ocean is known to all. It is common information that a sea or ocean or a river is composed of a number of droplets, small water droplets. So many. A droplet is contained within the ocean. It is petty knowledge. It is common knowledge. But that the ocean also is contained within the droplet, within each of the droplets, the whole ocean is contained and can be seen also, is something which is known in experience. Okay, it's not in theory, which is known in experience to the rarest of rare few who are fortunate enough, who by grace of Guru, by grace of the Almighty God, and by dint of their diligent practice are able to get this experience, which is the rarest of the rare and the precious, most precious and the highest experience. And the same is as much is said by Guru Nanak also, that the ocean or sea is contained within a drop. Who knows this? One who understands, one who learns the technique required for that from our Guru. And then you can see this is translation of a Sanskrit verse from taken from one of the scriptures called Jnana Sankalini Tantra. And what it says, in this body are all kinds of knowledge. In this body reside all the divine deities. In this body are all the holy places of pilgrimage and all the attributes of the macrocosm, that is universe. All that lies within this body, physical body of ours. But these are known only with Guru's grace or guidance. So all are hinting at the same thing. There is a verse in the original diagram of Sant Tulsi Sahab of Hathras also, which I could not say include in this diagram. He says that whole macrocosm Brahmand is contained within Pind, that is this microcosm, which is our body. And there is something which lies beyond this macrocosm also. I have seen that state, that highest state, which lies even beyond the macrocosm, that is beyond the conscious state, beyond the highest realm of the Turiya. He says that I have seen that. Okay, and for that I unveiled the three veils, the three curtains. And what are the three curtains that he is referring to? They are the three curtains of darkness, light, and sound. The universe in which we live currently is said to be the universe of darkness. Why is that so? That we'll see in the next talk. And then above that, when we move into the state of Turiya, then initially we are into the state of light, the second curtain. And if we continue with our meditational practice, then we go beyond the uh, domain of light also. There what remains is only sound, vibration. So that is the third curtain. Again, there are many number of sounds. As by following the hint of the Guru, as we go on practicing, then variety, multitude goes on reducing, and finally we are left with only one sound, the quintessential primeval vibration or melody which directly emanates from God Himself. And if we catch hold of that, the string of that sound, that primordial vibration, that primordial current, then it takes us, it pulls us towards its origin, towards its source, where lies God Himself, the Supreme Being Himself. And this quintessential primeval sound, which is known as Sar Shabd or purely conscious sound, is capable of taking us even beyond consciousness, that is, up to the God, and thus accomplishing our meditation, our bhakti, our devotion to its completion. The task is completed, the mission is completed, and we become totally liberated from all kinds of bondages. Now, nothing could affect us, nothing could matter to us. Now we are no longer bonded by this wheel of transmigration from endless cycles of repeated births and deaths. We go beyond that to become that immortal being, God Himself. So, in the future sessions, we'll try to understand the structure, okay, the scheme of creation of different levels of universe by God. God lies beyond the Turiya state. Okay, this is that state which is beyond the three curtains or three classes, darkness, light, and sound. So that for our future talks. Uh, I've just laid a background of what we are going to see. The discussions are going to be very exciting, and I solicit your presence in that also. I am say very much obliged to you for your kind support which you have been extending to me till now, and I am hopeful of getting same in future also. So kindly let your views or honest feedback be expressed in the comment box. And those of you who have not yet subscribed to the channel, I very humbly request you to kindly subscribe to the channel so that you keep on receiving notifications. So soon, with the grace of Guru, we'll be meeting with another episode of this talk. Bye till then. Jai Guru, Radha Swami, Vaheguru, Satyaram Sa, Namaste.